Hi, everyone. This is Andrew Dailey of MGI Research, and welcome to our session, The Power of In-Solutions, a New Way to Monetize in NetSuite. I'm joined by Brad Mortimer, who's the head of billing solutions at Zone Advanced Billing. Brad, welcome to the Monetize Forum.
Hi, Andrew. Thanks for having me.
So let's just start. For those who aren't familiar with Zone and Company, Zone Advanced Billing, what's the backstory to Zone?
Yeah, sure. So Zone and Company is a NetSuite solution provider. Prior to starting Zone, our two co-founders actually worked together at a software technology company that ran their business on NetSuite. And they were part of that company's growth from when they were just a small, privately held, a dozen or so employees, all the way through that company's growth to thousands of employees and a publicly traded company. And they directly impacted and helped scale that company's financial operations on top of the NetSuite platform, including a lot of their billing and a lot of their revenue recognition. They both decided to branch off and then start Zone and Company so that they could take that experience and start offering that to other similar companies who are also experiencing that growth. So we were working with a lot of companies that were trying to automate billing and revenue recognition and their reporting automation using NetSuite. And at the time, we were leveraging really what was available to us. We were trying our best to leverage out-of-the-box NetSuite functionality for billing. We were doing our best to try to build integrations to third-party applications and have them integrate to NetSuite. But I feel like both us and our customers were kind of a little bit left wanting. We wanted a little bit more. It seemed like in each of those approaches, there was always some trade-offs that we needed to make. So then what we decided to do, and we proposed to some of our customers, we said, well, we can leverage NetSuite and we could build a billing solution inside of NetSuite for you, leveraging the platform. So we did that for a couple of customers, and they were more one-off projects, custom billing solutions designed specifically for them. But that's really kind of where Zone Advanced Billing was born. So we took all of that experience that our founders had gained, scaling that software company, trying to build integrations to other third-party solutions, and the experience that we gained kind of building custom solutions. And that's where Zone Advanced Billing started. So then, fast forward several years now, it's a product that's available on the Suite Cloud platform. It's available on Suite apps, and it's now the #1 billing and monetization tool specifically for NetSuite customers.
So you describe it as an in-solution. That's a relatively new term, even for folks like myself that have been around this business too long. What exactly is an in-solution, and what are the unique benefits? What makes that different from just being an app?
Yeah, sure. So an in-solution is very simply just a solution that is built inside of another. It is not a solution that integrates with another one. It's not a solution that has a little widget window within a solution. It's not a solution that has a punch out window from one solution to the other. It is completely embedded within, and it's part of the technology fabric of that other solution. So if you think about companies like Salesforce and NetSuite, two of arguably the first two companies to offer 100% cloud-based solutions, they recognize the need and the value in giving access to their platform to allow third parties to develop solutions and expand upon the functionality and the solutions that they can provide. So Salesforce has the Force.com platform, and NetSuite has Suite Cloud platform. So Zone Advanced Billing leverages that Suite Cloud platform, and it's built entirely inside NetSuite, almost as if NetSuite and Zone Advanced Billing were one solution. I kind of like to say, when you're a user of NetSuite, you would never know the difference between whether you're using NetSuite or whether you're using Zone Advanced Billing, because they're completely intertwined into the same user experience.
Got it. So Zone and Company, as you just mentioned, is a NetSuite services partner, also a software developer. We're seeing more and more services companies like Zone develop and bring to market applications specifically in the monetization space. From your point of view, what are the unique benefits of buying from a services company that's offering an application? Why should I go with that versus a pure software developer?
Yeah. I think more and more as software companies grow that offer a product, as they grow, I think they tend to move further and further away from servicing those very same customers. Zone Advanced Billing was really, out of the backstory I just told you, was born out of experiencing that same pain that our customers felt.
Right.
We tried our best to build solutions for them, and we just never felt like we found that right solution. So Zone Advanced Billing was created from our customers' experience, and it also continues to be enhanced upon and developed based on that feedback of our customers. So a lot of our product roadmap and our new features are a lot of times customer driven. I also think that as a services company, we approach our solution maybe a little bit more holistically. Because we're working with these companies, we understand that billing and revenue recognition is just two operations amongst many operations of that company. And we're focused from a services company is like, how does our solution seamlessly fit in within the broader operations of that company, whether it be inventory management or CRM or front-end e-commerce solutions. And I think when we take that focus around more of how does our solution fit in versus rather focusing on our product through a vacuum and saying, these are the new products and features we're rolling out.
Where do you draw the line between when it makes sense for a company to use the billing capability that's native to NetSuite versus when it makes sense to use the billing and rev rec functionality that's in solution, as you describe it, through Zone? How should a customer kind of make that decision, or what are the use cases that would push you in one direction versus the other?
Yep. I think the answer to that is very contextual. So, you can ask a lot of questions. Well, what industry are they in? At what stage of growth are they in? Do they have the capital or the funding to expand upon their NetSuite? What level of pain are they feeling within current processes, right? So the list goes on in terms of, well, what is the actual trigger point that says now is the time to use Zone Advanced Billing? But I think what gives a lot of NetSuite or our customers comfort, or NetSuite customers comfort, is that if they plan on growing and they plan on expanding the products and services that they offer, they plan on growing into new markets, at some point within their growth, they're probably going to need a tool like Zone Advanced Billing just to keep up with the pace of innovation and the pace at which they're offering new products. So I think that alone, so whether a customer needs Zone Advanced Billing right away, or they might need it in a year from now or 2 years from now, I think it gives them a lot of comfort knowing that they can invest in NetSuite, knowing that eventually that they could use Zone Advanced Billing.
Yeah, one of the questions traditionally when customers are faced with a choice of looking at a services company that has software solutions, they're always wondering, is that software piece going to stay with the services company, or is it going to get spun out at some point? Because obviously the valuation of a software product is different than the valuation of a services company. Is there any, and you may not want to answer this or be willing to, but is there any ever thought of spinning the advanced billing piece out of Zone and Company, or will always be this kind of symbiotic piece of the business?
No, I think that's a good question. And that's a question that we're also asking ourselves, and that we're in the process of discovering what the right answer is to that. But I think when, in the process of figuring out the right answer there, I think what's most important and what's priority for us is that our Zone customers continue, we service them now and we continue to service them forever, right? And regardless of how we brand ourselves or market ourselves or structure our organization, that really is the number one priority. So I think it's something that we're also discovering ourselves.
Let's step back for a minute and just talk about the kind of the case, because one of the choices here is people can try to address these issues, the needs through as much as possible through a single solution, try to pick, as you described in the case of Salesforce, picking different pieces out and pulling them together. What's the case in your mind for centralized billing, finance, collections, rev rec, all in one? What's the argument for that versus doing things from multiple pieces?
Yeah. So accounting is tough. My background is in accounting. My education is in accounting. My early professional career is in accounting. By nature of what we do, I work and speak with accountants on a day-to-day basis. I think if you were to pose the question to any accountant, would you rather have separate systems for billing, revenue, collections, and your general ledger, or have a single system? I would bet that the answer is almost unanimous that you'd rather have a single system. And there's many reasons for that. You know, if you think about accounting standards like ASC 606 and IFRS 15, two of the more recent revenue recognition standards. In order to stay compliant with that, you need interaction, not just between billing, but revenue recognition as well. So as contracts change, as you have upsells and downsells and cancellations and you have uplifts or contract extensions, all of those things have billing implications, but they also have revenue recognition implications as well. So keeping those very close is important. And I think a lot of the third-party systems and tools, they're recognizing that, which is why you see a lot of these tools also offering RevRec solutions. So a lot of them will have either RevRec capability built within their platform, or maybe they offer another tool that's a revenue recognition tool, which is good because they do need to be together. But they're still not solving the final problem, is that you've now separated two critical functions of your accounting from your general ledger and your ERP system. So essentially what you've created is a subledger architecture system where you have an accounts receivable subledger and a revenue recognition or deferred revenue subledger. And if you think about where the future of accounting is going and even where NetSuite already is, you're talking about, we're eliminating the subledger architecture. It's a data-rich general ledger. It's a real-time general ledger. You're posting detailed transactions to the general ledger, and going with a point solution and stripping this out and creating a subledger architecture is almost going backwards in where the accounting world is moving forward to. So having that access to real-time information inside of a single system, particularly for us being NetSuite, I think is extremely important. And then you also think about NetSuite as a whole and why we've put our bet into NetSuite. NetSuite offers solutions for retail companies, wholesale distribution, software companies, services companies, and there's specific pieces of functionality that NetSuite offers. And we want the billing and the revenue recognition to be married with the rest of the operations that the business is using, not separated in a disparate system.
Got it. NetSuite has a very strong customer base, a growing customer base, specifically within technology companies, kind of emerging growth software and other types of and cloud companies that are using NetSuite. You get engaged in a lot of your customer projects firsthand, so you got a lot of experience seeing what's going on there. In your experience, what really distinguishes the really top performers in terms of implementation, adoption, and ongoing best practices versus kind of the rest of the pack? What separates the really good finance functions and really top performing businesses when it comes to these projects?
Yeah, I think the the top performing companies, in my opinion, that I see are the ones who invest in the software that they own. And I don't just mean from monetarily purchase, I mean investing people and time and resources into the software that they own and really taking ownership of that software. Training individuals to become power users, having a group or an individual in charge of administration. The companies who take that time to really invest in their solutions that they own end up getting the most out of them. And a lot of times those seem to be the ones that, especially nowadays, post, or during still pandemic and recession, those are the customers of ours that seem to emerge as being the ones who are most successful, who actually make that investment into their software. And this is true, not just for Zone and NetSuite, but for any platform, right? Making that investment. And I think it's also true, in any stage of the process, whether they're in evaluation of a software, in an implementation of a software, or even ongoing, optimization or support of a software.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's really important to get from a single individual or a small group of individuals to spreading it to a whole team and the broader organization. Completely agree. So with that, I'd like to thank Brad Mortimer, the head of billing solutions at Zone Advanced Billing. Brad, thanks for your time today.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and there's more information at the Zone booth, and you're going to be around for the Q&A, hopefully, the networking. So, and if not, certainly people can reach out, I'm sure, with more questions. So with that, thanks everyone for joining us. Thank you, Brad, and enjoy the rest of the Monetize Forum.
Thank you.